Hello, are you interested in a fully funded scholarship in the US? Then you should take a look at this. So, fully funded with a stipend of close to $50,000 per year. You can see on your screen that if you intending to study in the humanities or social sciences, you get close to 50,000 in stipend. Physical sciences close to 50,000, biological medical sciences over $50,000 in stipend. You also get, is written down here, a one-time relocation award of $1,000. So this is wonderful. This is a beautiful opportunity, and this is the opportunity we'll be talking about. And of course, I've not forgotten there are application fee waivers for different students, both international and domestic students. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're joining us for the first time, you're welcome. But where have you been? There are lots of videos on this channel on fully funded scholarships from around the world. So look around, I'm sure you'll find something that catches your interest. And if you're a returning viewer, a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back, thanks for the constant support, and I hope you get a scholarship sooner than later. In the last video, we talked about a fully funded master's and PhD, usually PhDs, because the US universities oftentimes fund more of PhDs than masters. And the good news is that you can move directly with a bachelor's degree, that's a BSc or a BA, directly go for a PhD without even going for a master's. And I'll be showing you that shortly. So I talked about the opportunity at Cornell last time. It already has over 14,000 views. So take a look at that if you've not seen that already. This one is a similar opportunity at Yale University, another top-notch, highly ranked university in the US that has full funding for both domestic and international students. So let's begin with the application fee waiver, because if you cannot afford the application fee waiver, there's even no point. Or if you cannot afford the application fee, rather, there's even no point applying. But fortunately, there's a waiver, so you can get the application fee scrapped and put in your competitive application. So as you can see here, the application fee is $105, which is a lot of money if you're coming from the global south, from developing countries. This is the equivalent of someone's monthly salary in some parts of the world. So how do we get a waiver? So you scroll down a little bit, you get information about waivers. And I think it said here, if you go to the eligibility requirements, that, see it here, where is it? That US citizens, permanent residents, and non-US citizens are all, let's underscore all, eligible to request a fee waiver. So that's great. So all applicants, whether you're US permanent residents or foreign or non-US citizen, you can apply for an application fee waiver. So that's good news. So how do we actually do that? To apply for this, there are two major routes, or if you're American routes. And the first one is to participate in a number of programs. These are the list of programs here. And I would say that most of these programs are for domestic students, but then you can claim hardship, documented financial hardship. You can claim financial hardship as your reason for applying for an application fee waiver. And like in my previous videos, I've already documented how to apply for a waiver by claiming financial hardship. So this is the video here, and it is open for you to go through, or this is the list rather. I compiled this list just in the last video. And these are the main points. You're not necessarily expected to raise all these points because they often tell you to submit a statement. It's short, maybe a one-page statement. Why do you deserve, why are you appealing for an application fee waiver? So I've listed 5 points. You do not need to use all of them. You can use one or two or three. So the first point here is about exchange rate. To convert this amount to your local currency and show how big it is and how it covers almost the entirety of your monthly income. You probably would have evidence. Sometimes they ask, sometimes they don't. So if they ask, have evidence to show, like your pay slip, bank balance, and things like that. Narrate economic hardship. So give a narrative of your economic hardship in your home country, like inflation, recession, natural disaster. And by the way, in Nigeria recently, in the northern part of Nigeria, there was a major flood occurrence, which wiped away properties, wiped away, even killed a number of people. So this is one of the justifications you can make, that in my area we had this major disaster, our livelihoods have been affected, and I'm unable to afford the $105 application fee. You can also mention caring responsibilities that you have, like retired parents you're taking care of, or you have little children dependent on you, or a disabled spouse, or those kinds of other caring responsibilities. That yes, you're earning some amount of money, but you're using this money to pay for childcare, medical bills, and the rest of them. Then demonstrate that you meet all the application requirements. So a link to this document will be placed in the description box of this video. So do not worry. So application fees, we got you covered. Documented financial hardships. So let's scroll down a little and see if there's any other thing. So the documented financial hardships, these are the letters I just mentioned. You either get a letter from your undergraduate university. This might be a bit difficult for a number of people, but if you can, that's good. A statement of liabilities, including prior educational loans. If you can get that, that's possible. Or you can get a statement describing your economic circumstances, including income and assets. That's exactly what I talked to you about in this slide, this one. So that is it here. And you don't need to present the three of them, just one of them is sufficient. And I think you should go for the third one. They've described here how to get the application fee waiver. There's a form, but to get access to this form, you need to start the application itself. So PhD or a master's application, start, and then you can complete this form before you submit your application. And make sure you do all this before the 2nd of January. So all the instructions are here. You'll be fine. You'll figure it out. So then let's go and talk about the different programs. So this is the list of the different programs. Are there different departments? For instance, this is anthropology. Let's see what anthropology is asking for. Imagine you're thinking of applying for a degree in anthropology. So here they said the GRE is not accepted, is not required. You need to submit a writing sample for this one. And now the English language test. So they accept English language test. However, you may be exempt from this requirement if you've received or will receive an undergraduate degree. A power bike just passed through my window. Sorry about that. You may be exempt from this requirement if you've received or will receive an undergraduate degree from a college or university where English is the primary language of instruction. So I think you should go for this immediately. So argue that English language was the only language, the exclusive language of your study for undergrad, and that will be sufficient. So that is it through and through. You do not need to submit any of the IELTS or the TOEFL. So to apply for this, you have to go to the, of course, read the application's instruction. You can see it here, the different documents you have to submit. But before you even do that, visit the department page you intend to apply to. So this is anthropology, right? We'll go to the anthropology page and see Department of Anthropology. This is their website. Okay. See the people there, the faculty, what are they studying? Undergraduates, the graduate programs there as well. How to apply. So it's good to visit this page so you know their strengths and their weaknesses, if any. So the reason why it is important to do this is because you want to mention some of these things in your application document. That I've gone through your website, I've seen the strengths of your faculty, and I think I belong here. So something to that regard. And of course, it's always a good thing to know the different professors and what they're working on and have like a tentative supervisor, a proposed supervisor. You can mention their names as well in the essay, saying, hey, Professor ABC is working on XYZ, and this XYZ is the area I'm actually interested in. My undergrad was in this area, or my undergrad research was in this area, and I would like to contribute more to this area, and I think Professor ABC will make a perfect supervisor. Some universities require to contact these professors before you even apply. There's no instruction about that here, but I think what you can do is to contact the department and ask, do I need to get the green light from a professor before I apply? Or can I just apply and just mention the name of the professors I think work in a similar area of research and I think they can supervise me? To do that, just look for either the department secretary, the head of department. You can go to staff here and see who you can contact and see and ask that kind of a question and say, hey, this is a prospective graduate applicant. I just want to clarify, do I need to send an email to a professor to secure a yes for supervision before applying? Or is it sufficient to just write their names in my personal statement and submit my other documents? I hope that is clear. Of course, there are other departments as well, but I must point out quickly that some departments require the GRE, unfortunately. For instance, I checked my beloved department, politics. So, politics, let's go down a little, political science, and to just check the applications requirements. And yet it said GRE is required. So it wasn't required for anthropology, but it is required for politics. And here the IELTS TOEFL scrapped as well if you already studied your undergraduate degree in the English language. So check for your own department. The good news is that for the majority of the departments, the GRE is scrapped. Let's check physics and see. Let's see whether physics is scrapping or leaving the GRE. Here it is optional, and this is a little bit tricky. When they say it is optional, if you have the resources to take the exam, please do, because it will help boost your application. Or if you do not, it means your other documents have to be very strong, your essays have to be strong, transcript, very good results, to help your application. Because it might just be the deal maker or the deal breaker at the end of the day, because some applicants might bring the GRE and do very well, and some others might not bring it and not do very well. So you need to balance this out. So if it is optional, try to take it if you can. If you cannot, make sure you're submitting a very competitive application package. So imagine physics said no GRE and political science is saying submit GRE. You would expect that physics would say GRE and politics would say no GRE. And I think the reason is because political science is becoming very quantitative and very mathematical these days. So we do lots of maths in politics these days. I know this because I do a bit of quantitative political science. So it's becoming quite quantitative, and I think they want their graduate students to, in that headspace of statistical analysis, data analysis for political science. So check for your own department. It's a very long list here. It's a very long list. Use the alphabetical keys to check for your own department. And of course, I think we did this already. Let's go back to anthropology. Where is anthropology? Let me show you the amount of money you would get in stipend if you are admitted into this university. So this is anthropology, and when I scrolled down, I saw this about PhD stipends. So PhD stipends, I think I showed you this already in the intro. So PhD stipend, 50K. That's a lot of money and it's quite comfortable. You live quite comfortably if you earn that as a graduate student. For a number of other universities, they do not pay this much, but this is one of the highest. And California universities as well pay up to 50, a little bit more. Other Ivy Leagues in the East Coast also pay close to this. I think Cornell also pays close to this as well. I think Cornell pays 45 or thereabout. So it's a very generous amount of money. And remember, as I said earlier, they have a relocation allowance of $1,000. So this is wonderful. They've got you through and through. And that's it, guys. Fully funded PhD, masters, and as I said, by the way, it's often the case that PhDs are more funded than masters in the US. I'm not saying they don't fund master students, some departments do, but the majority of departments will give you full funding for a PhD. So what do? The application requirements for a master is quite similar to those for a PhD. So why not go for a PhD directly? And sometimes if it happens that you cannot finish the PhD, they can convert your PhD program into a master's and send you off after 2-3 years. So please consider that while you're applying. And that's it, guys. Fully funded scholarships in the US. And remember, I'll attach a link to this document in the description box so you can always go through and write your own application fee waiver document. As usual, guys, we cannot wait to celebrate you, so get to work. And of course, take advantage of the different videos on this channel rather, on fully funded scholarships from around the world. So of course you can get multiple offers at the end of the day, and that wouldn't be a bad thing, would it? We cannot wait to celebrate you, so get to work, start putting your documents together, and I'll see you at the top sooner than later. Bye bye for now. Do not forget to subscribe. Cheers.